So I have my own soapbox special.
All right.
But I think it dovetails nicely with what you were talking about with Forrest Gump, the simple character and someone you can root for.
Mm-hmm.
And it's what I call CW syndrome.
Okay.
Where every character feels like they're written for a CW drama. And the phrase I've been using is emotional incontinence. They just have no control over their emotions. Everything is about how I feel. Everything is feelings based. All my emotions are on my sleeve 100% of the time. They're outbursts and this and that and the other, and snapping at people and haughtiness and looking down on other people, and especially, and of course the gender dynamic is always the woman is right and the man is wrong.
Yeah,
like 100% of the time, 100% of the time. But it's a result of it's both solipsistic and narcissistic. So narcissistic, probably know, is just being very self aggrandizing.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're like, oh, I'm so great. Right? Narcissus, famously, Greek myth, he looked in the reflection in the pool and he was like, damn, I'm so beautiful. He stared in the pool until he died.
Classic guy.
Classic narcissist. So narcissist is someone who has a very inflated opinion of themselves. Solipsism is a little different. It's kind of, if you watch The Matrix, you can kind of understand what solipsism is. Solipsism is the idea that you can't actually verify that anything outside of yourself exists. Now, as a philosophy, it's stupid. But when it comes to solipsistic thinking, basically it means you can't put yourself in someone else's shoes. You cannot think of something from someone else's perspective. And I think we see that so much, especially in the whole, oh, I feel so represented on screen because I can't see myself in someone else's shoes. I can't look at a character that doesn't look like me or doesn't have certain particulars with me.
Right.
And if I can't identify with them, then I get nothing out of it. That is solipsistic thinking. The idea that because this character doesn't share whatever certain externals with me, I can't identify with them. So if you take that to its logical conclusion, it means that we can't identify with any character who's not white, male, heterosexual, right? Which is absurd.
But and it's so funny because those are only certain characteristics. It's like, well, does he also have to be blonde or bald or have a big beard or glasses or a hat, like constantly? Like it just, I said a hat
stupid.
Because Marco has never not worn a hat.
It's stupid and it's completely arbitrary. But this is the way characters are written now.
Yeah.
And it's why you see all these weird self-inserts. Like every character becomes a self-insert because the writer cannot put themselves in someone else's shoes. And because of that, you end up with all these characters who are just completely who act like children. All these people in authority are acting like children. And if you've worked with children, like children throw temper tantrums because they have no control over their emotions. And what do? You teach them to control their emotions. It's not saying, oh, you shouldn't be emotional. No. It's saying you're controlling the emotions. The emotions are not controlling you.
Right.
And I think about this is so blatant in new Star Trek versus old Star Trek. Old Star Trek, there was levity, there was fun.
Yeah.
Right? People goofed around, people joked. But when it came down to it, this is military. There's a hierarchy. You respect the chain of command. There are even whole episodes about not respecting the chain of command. There's a great scene between Data and Worf. Where Data gets put in charge and Worf decides that he thinks better, and Data dresses him down. He says, hey, you can't do that. I'm the one in charge. You can't do that in front of other people. And Worf says, you're right, I'm sorry. And it's very professional. Mm-hmm. And then you watch New Trek, and New Trek is like, well, if it's a woman, they say, yeah, you're wrong. You're done. You're out. Get out of here. Stop talking. Blah, blah, blah. And of course, they pick the schlubby schlub. They pick H. John Benjamin to be the Schlubman McGee to just get absolutely shit on. But it's like, these are supposed to be captains and admirals and generals, and you're like, they're acting like children.
Yeah.
Who would follow this person into battle? Where is the chain of command? Who is calling the shots? No, like everyone acts again like teenagers, and it's just embarrassing to watch. And so it's Starfleet Academy, which is the newest one, is like even worse. This one person, and it's the Galadriel problem. Like she's thousands of years old. Oh, this is younger Galadriel. She's still thousands of years old. How long did it take you to be able to control your emotions? Good Lord. And so she's like 400 years old, and she's acting like a child. And you're like, who on earth would ever follow this person into battle? And everything is about how I feel and finding my place and this and that and the other thing. It's like, no. Starfleet Academy is about being the best of the best and being part of something bigger than yourself. It's about being a small part of something big, but they can't see it that way. It all has to be about me, and I have to be the most important. Think about Kylo Ren versus Darth Vader on the villain side, right? Darth Vader, he's got a temper.
Yeah.
But he still is controlled. He still is imposing. Kylo Ren is a child.
Yeah.
He's throwing temper tantrums in front of people. Like when Vader snaps, he kills one person, the person who failed him, right?
And
Kylo is like
he's very subdued while he does it.
Yes, he's not like
you wouldn't
screaming.
see him wailing like a child.
Yeah, whereas Kylo Ren is slashing the console like, come on, guy. More recently, Iron Man versus Ironheart.
Oh gosh.
Iron Man, yeah, he's a man-child and he has to grow up. That's part of his character arc. Like he's still sassy, he still quips, right? But he does mature. He does go from someone who is like a total dick to someone who's willing to sacrifice himself for and even give up his wife and child for all of humanity, right? So that they win. Ironheart is saying, I deserve this because of what? Yes. Because I'm black? I'm sorry. What? What does that mean? Why? She's in MIT getting grant money and she's like, oh yeah, but it's not good enough. I'm sorry. What? People would kill to be in that position. You're so intelligent. You're so brilliant. You can build an Iron Man suit, but you can't sell a patent. Hello? And it's so frustrating because it stems from the writers are emotionally stunted, so the only characters they can write are emotionally stunted. And we were reading a book about emotionally healthy spirituality, and it had this like layout of emotional children, emotional infants, emotional like how what the signs are of emotional maturity. And we're reading the emotional infants one. I'm like, this is every Hollywood writer. It is literally like a list of things like can't control their emotions, thinks that they deserve everything handed to them on silver platters, like all of those things. And the way I've been talking about it, it's like it's written by theater kids for theater kids, and you just can't get anything out of it. And if you look at older shows, it's so much more mature. And I was talking to someone else. I was talking to Andrew Backerich, who's been on the show before. And I was saying the reason I've been drawn to thrillers and dramas like spy thrillers and things more is because the people in those shows tend to be more controlled emotionally because they have to be because they're in this dangerous world. It's not my favorite genre.
Right.
Like it's a lot of death. It's a lot of betrayal. It's a lot of backstabbing. It's not my favorite. But it's the only place I'm getting emotional maturity.
You're right.
So I can't watch my sci-fi shows because everyone acts like a child. I can't watch, like superhero shows because everyone's a child. Like there's no maturity, even in stuff like The Boys, which is supposed to be mature. It's not. Like Obliterated was very emotionally mature, but it wasn't trying to be serious. It was a complete joke from start to finish. It was just clowning around, and that's why I enjoyed it, because it was clearly a clown show, and it knew it was a clown show, and it was trying to be a clown show, and it did a good job being a clown show. It wasn't. At no point was I like, well, that's just being obnoxious and rude to no. Everyone was an idiot. Everyone knew everyone was an idiot, and it was funny. So that's one thing. But when a show that should be taking itself seriously doesn't, I struggle to watch it.
Well, I think the problem is that, like you said about the writers, they don't realize that when you watch that, like it's just asinine. Like the main thing that I think when I see characters like that is like I'm pulled out of the immersion of the movie or the TV show because I'm going, nobody acts like this that I know. Even those emotionally immature people that are out there that might be similar to this, they're having that internally where they're like snapping back at people and then they'll go and gossip with their friends about it. But these people are so over. Like I think of Erica from
she's the
from
worst.
Stranger Things.
She's psychopathic.
And granted, I know that she's supposed to be a kid in it, but like they're writing plenty of other kids in that show, and they're all acting like kids, but in a way that that at least as a viewer, you're not like driving like a drill into your brain.
Yeah.
But you watch Erica, and she's just like. She's literally a psycho. Like she just I don't even want to say.
You should eat your pie, bitch, and then stabs her with a needle full of drugs.
I mean, she's just absolutely wild, and I just find those characters to be so unrealistic. Like where I'm like, nobody you talk to acts like this.
Well, the thing is, when I see some of the news and some of these TikTok things, people do act like this. I just don't. I'm just not friends with any of them. Thank the Lord. But I go to my metric. Like, is this person supposed to be a good guy? Is this person we're supposed to be rooting for? Yes. Would I want to be in the same room as them? And the answer is always no. If I was in the room with any of these characters from Starfleet Academy, I was in the room with most of the characters from Stranger Things nowadays, older Stranger Things, sure. But if I was in the characters from most of these shows, I would tell them to shut the fuck up and walk out of the room. I'd be like, I want nothing to do with you. Right. I would walk away from them.
Yeah, I think that is. I think the main thing that makes me sad is that in most cases that it is frustrating. It's because they are the character you're supposed to like, and that's the part that kills me. It's almost like, hey, here's this strong, independent fill in the blank. I mean, most of the time it's probably some girl boss character because they're typically the ones that have full reins to do whatever they want, and you just have to like it. and we're going to make them really obnoxious in all these ways. Whatever their purpose is, it's going to be self-driven. It's going to be like, I have this dream to be this thing.
I just had to realize I was great the whole time.
And the only obstacles they have are not believing the doubt that other people put in them. And then you're like, you're so agonizing.
How's that working through normal life?
Yeah.
Oh, I can't pass this test. I just needed to believe the math was inside me all along. And I passed the math test.
Like, this just doesn't happen. It's so silly to me.
But yeah, it's what's made new media unwatchable for me.
Yeah.
I just can't stand it.
Yeah. One of the things that you said that one of my biggest pet peeves with the world today, with these idiotic people that that are not on the same aisle as me politically speaking.
Hollywood writers.
I cannot stand the phrase "my truth." That is my biggest pet peeve in the world of politics.
That's my truth.
There is no such thing.
Is that your truth?
As my truth. There is zero such thing. That is the worst possible way of saying the truth. But it's the worst. I can't stand it. It's the absolute fucking the worst.
And it's always a double standard.
I just can't.
You know, if you have a problem with them, it's their truth. But if they have a problem with you, it's because you're evil.
But it's my truth, and I want to do it any way that I want to do it. It's my truth, okay?
All right. Well, you do it somewhere far away from me.
I actually support that, Mark.
I can't stand it. It is the worst.
Speak your truth, Marco.
It is the absolute
Slay queen.
fucking worst. Okay? Pardon my French. It's the fucking worst. All right? I'm over it.
You do have a censor button there somewhere.
I don't care. I'm going to... no. This needs to be said. There's no such thing as my truth.
True.
No such thing.
You know what my truth is? That Marco's truth is my truth, and it's the truth.
Well, the real truth is that was a great segment.